Okay, let's hear you again, Tom.
Hear me again?
Yep. I hear you fine. Let's hear you, Kirsten.
Hello.
I keep calling you Kirsten. I'm sorry about that.
That's fine. That's what my parents named me, so that works.
It's not Kirsten?
No one remembers Kirsten, so I switched to Kirsten in high school to be like
Stop doing that to me. So I've been right this whole time?
Well, no, it's either. It's literally anything but
What are we
Kristen.
calling you
Is
today?
it either or either? Just that's what you're doing to us?
It really is. Like, my husband calls me Kirsten. All my friends call me Kirsten. It really doesn't matter.
Your own lover calls you by the wrong name?
Lover, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I would never.
This requires an episode of Who Did I Marry?
I would never do that.
I prefer Kirsten, so.
Kirsten?
What? Why?
That's what I wanted to know.
People remember it better.
Yeah.
Kirsten
Oh,
is
just
what
out
you-
of laziness?
Yeah. People
Like,
just
it's just
remember it.
easier. Don't bother.
Kirsten immediately becomes Kristen.
Yeah. I mean, the whole fact is that she's a beloved theater person in the area, director, St. Ursula High School. Everybody loves her. It's the main reason why we wanted her on. All right, Kimberly, do you know how to say my last name?
Omlar?
See? Wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Amler.
Omler.
Yeah. See, that's okay. Because that's my whole life, too. My whole life, nobody's ever been
Like
able to say.
omelet.
Yeah, like omelet. Exactly.
Oh, you could have said that 15 episodes ago.
Oh, I've said it 100 times. I've said it my whole life. I've said it 50 years ago.
It's because all I've ever done is read it via email.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
You're
there
like,
seems to be a lot
make
of
this
vowels
graphic
in it.
for me. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right,
you
well,
do
I guess
know
I'm not
Kyle.
asking Kyle for stuff anymore.
She did work with me for a while. You're right.
That's right.
And everybody asking me to do my job. This is bull. I don't appreciate this crap. Man. Ugh.
Yeah.
We're
9 to 5.
We're
Who
all
decided
drinking
that?
a bunch of pink stuff here,
Yeah.
right?
So this episode is a blatant attempt to get Kirsten donations and support for the Over the Edge Foundation, and I'm not even going to try to hide it. That's what this episode is.
Kyle, what is over the edge? Wait a minute. You know what?
Oh, my
God.
Well,
let's get.
Is this a Sunday morning?
It was my way to.
You know what? That gave me a good reminder of like whose line is it anyway?
What's that?
When they're doing the CDs and the sounds of, and Wayne Brady sings the song, and Kyle and Ryan Stiles are like, "Do you know what I like the most? Lumberjacks.
Random
Songs
thoughts
of the
by Tom over here.
Lumberjacks.
You look like
Do you know what I like the most? Over the Edge.
Over the edge. Well, so anywho, so yeah, like I said, when Ron got a hold of you, because he saw that you were starting to do the whole treatments with the breast cancer-y things. So this is going to be a whole lot of booby talk, right?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Is it both boobies, first of all?
No, it's just
yeah,
my
yeah.
left.
I thought
Betrayed
so.
by my left breast.
That's the term I heard you say, betrayed by my left breast.
Yes.
Is that like from something I should know, or am I you just make that up?
Well, I did, when I found out I had breast cancer, I actually did a photo shoot in the style of Waitress the musical because she gets pregnant and she says she bakes a pie called Betrayed by My Eggs Pie.
Thank you. I knew.
Yes. So I did a whole photo shoot because I wasn't sure if I was, what I was facing.
Right.
Because I didn't know that. No one in my family has ever had cancer. So when you get
What?
diagnosed, yeah. Right.
Wow, that's
Surprise!
Yeah.
First mammogram ever.
that was your first mammogram
It
too?
was. Surprise.
Oh my gosh.
So when I got diagnosed, I was like, I kind of want to, commemorate this and take control of the narrative. And so I was like, let's tie everything back to musical theater.
I feel like that
Because-
is exactly you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why when this happened. So I saw those posts. I
Mm-hmm.
just forget everything. That's my brain is wonderful in that I can watch the same movies and same things over again and be like, oh, that was funny that I saw obviously 20 times. So same deal with you. You posted this whole freaking Waitress thing, and I'm like, wow, why does that sound familiar? It sounds like
Yeah.
something I should know.
Yeah.
Something's
so,
ringing a bell.
Yeah, that is so awesome though that
Yeah.
you did that.
Well, and I also, being a teacher at St. Ursula, I have 690 female students. One out of every 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer at some point in their life. And I think we need to talk about it more. Again, if you have no cancer in your family, you don't often talk about it. And my doctor told me, get a mammogram, you're 40 now. And I skipped it. And then when I was 41, my doctor actually said, I have seen that you have not gotten a mammogram yet. If you do not get one, I will drop you as my patient.
Oh, geesh, nice.
And I really liked this doctor. This was my OBGYN.
Drop
and
that doctor's name.
Yeah.
Dr. Ree, and she's now leaving town, which is horrifying
Oh,
because
no.
she is amazing. She's an amazing physician.
She obviously cares about you.
Yeah. And so I said, well, it's show season, so I really can't go until February. And she said, that's okay, but it has to be February. And so I got one, and it was like surprise.
Oh, now when you found this out, did you go ahead? Tom,
did she kind of know, or did she have
no? She would have no way of knowing.
No.
She just wanted all of her patients at 40 to get it, and she was very used to hearing excuse after excuse.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a busy mom. I'm a busy director. There's no cancer in my family. All of that is true, and so she was like, nope.
Yeah,
We're doing this.
I'm sure she has heard all the excuses.
Yeah, for
she's
sure.
like she treats all of you guys like you're dang teenagers.
Right.
Like yeah,
I needed
blah
that,
blah
though.
blah. Yeah, no. So when you found out though, did you do any deep diving at all to see if there was anything in the family?
Oh yeah. So right away when you
because I wouldn't believe my family. Oh, we never had any bull.
Well, my dad was adopted, and so they immediately ordered genetic testing because I was only 41 with no family history. So I went through genetic testing to see if I was BRCA 1 or 2 mutation positive, and I wasn't. So cancer can be environmental, it can be lifestyle, or it can be genetic. And so
really, those three things. So what's BRCA? What?
BRCA 1 and 2, it's a gene mutation that you have a extremely high risk of breast cancer and ovarian cancer. And
It's specifically breast cancer. Is that where the BRCA comes? The BRCA?
I don't know what the
BRCA
BRCA
is the BRCA gene. It's a marker that a lot of women determine is going to be something that maybe predetermines that they're going to get cancer, whether it is breast cancer, ovarian cancer,
Gotcha.
uterine cancer, endometrial. And we're seeing higher numbers of that right now, especially with women who are, like you said, not seeing those numbers.
Not in their
that
family. It isn't,
identifier in
well,
their
so we have
families.
Kimberly here from Over the Edge. Is it called Over the Edge Foundation? What is it called?
So I'm with the Victory Center.
Thank you.
Yeah. Over 50% of our participants are breast cancer survivors. And we say day one, you're diagnosed with cancer, you're a survivor. And so anyone who comes through our doors, especially someone with breast cancer, we want to make sure that they're going to connect with someone else who's going through that journey, whether a 20-year survivor or diagnosed the same day as you, because you can go through that journey with someone who can truly, at the end of the day, say, I get it.
And the Victory Center isn't just breast cancer then?
No, not at all. We're men, women, and children. We actually have people as young as 11 years old coming to us. And we have men who have different diagnoses as well. But we welcome anyone who has a cancer diagnosis and the caregivers of those families as well. So someone who is going through cancer, but may not be the person who's been diagnosed themselves.
So what's that mean exactly? You said the caregiver. Do you have a place for them? I'm confused. Like, how do you help them?
Absolutely. So the building is open to anybody who is going through cancer. A caregiver may be welcome to our support group. We also have things like yoga classes, hypnotherapy, aromatherapy, art therapy for both adults and children.
Lots of therapies.
My child did the art therapy. She
Lots
loved
of
it.
Yeah?
Yeah, my 11-year-old.
Nice. And this is at the building. Where's the building?
Yeah, so our flagship office is at 3166 North Republic Boulevard. We're tucked behind Dr. Poole's dentist office.
Toledo?
Yep.
Thank you. That's where I was going.
Off of Central Avenue in Toledo, right by Wildwood, and the Walmart is there.
So I drive by it all the time.
You drive by it all the time.
All the time.
I bet you do.
Take my dogs walking in Wildwood a
I
lot.
bet
And
you
probably
do.
drive right past it all the time.
But, Kirsten, for you, and certainly for anyone listening, you don't need us until you need us. And truly, we wish we didn't have to exist, but we're glad that we do. And
Oh, that was great. I like that. No, you're right though. We don't need to know that you exist until
no.
until
No.
You said something quickly
Or-
I want you to back up on. You
ignorant
said
bliss, really.
three different ways of getting the cancer.
Well, and there,
Yes, good.
So lifestyle, environment, and genetics, and you'll never know.
Right. So lifestyle could be if you smoke a bunch.
Right, exactly.
You're a smoker, you're gonna get lung cancer.
Which was my mother.
Right. I mean, and again, I don't have any genetic components of having breast cancer. Lifestyle, I lead a fairly healthy life.
You don't smoke a lot.
No,
Not anymore,
Zero.
right?
Zero. I know that I was living in New York City for a long time, and there seems to be a higher than normal rate from my college dorm.
Oh.
We have talked about that. We're all kind of in
Wow.
our early 40s, and there's quite a few of us. So that could be some. Just we have no way of knowing, but it's here. And the interesting thing about the Victory Center is everyone talked to me. Go to the Victory Center. Go to the Victory Center. Go to the Victory Center. And I didn't, because every physician and oncologist kept saying your cancer is boring, and you want your cancer to be boring. Like that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good.
But physicians, they tend to say, your cancer is boring, your cancer is insignificant, which again, you want to hear because it means that there's a treatment plan that's going to be very successful. And so I felt like I didn't want to use the Victory Center because I felt like I didn't have it that bad.
Oh, you
Right?
were trying to be selfless again.
Well,
You're like, I'm not bad enough.
People
Let the
have
people
it
who really
worse.
need it. Oh,
and then it got
geez.
to the point where I felt like I started feeling insignificant. And so I was like, I need to talk to someone who's going through this and whose phone is ringing. I mean, I'm a Xennial. I don't want to answer the phone. And
what?
You have to. Well, I'm
a Gen Zenial.
No, I'm that micro generation. I don't, whatever it is, I don't want to text. And turns out when you have cancer, you have like 10 phone calls a day you have to answer. So I was like, I just need someone to talk to. And so I just kind of was passing the Victory Center one day. I was like, you know what, I'm going to go in.
Okay.
And I was met with such welcoming arms, and here's what we can offer you. And I even said, I don't have it that badly. I've already had my surgery. Radiation is going really well. And they're like, that's not a thing. Like,
Yeah, Kimberly's like, quit, stop, right?
Yeah.
I can see you shaking your head over there.
There's something that we hear all the time, and it's give this to someone who needs it. And it's like we're here because of you and for you. And, we tend to say that just because you've got a cancer diagnosis doesn't give you, something more or less than somebody else.
Is this such a mom thing too?
Oh, gosh, the women.
I feel like the moms are always about
women.
not themselves.
You know what? Men are a little bit more hesitant. They don't want to come in and get a facial. Although we do have men who love a good facial. But the women themselves, they're such caregivers by nature.
That's what I was thinking.
By nature.
But she's a teacher. She's a mother of not just her own child, but a gajillion. How many girls you said?
What's
the
the
first
number?
thing you said? You had
600.
600 girls.
well, I knew
Yeah.
that I could educate. And so
Yeah.
I just wanted to control the narrative from the beginning. And St. Ursula had a rough year last year. We lost our principal to cancer. She was also young. And so I wanted to share as much of my story and the medical process with my students, with the blessing of our principal, Mary
Right.
Werner. Or I'm sorry, our president, Mary Werner. And so I actually even had 2 St. Ursula students sit in on my surgery.
I did know that. So I am such a huge advocate of just education.
Yes.
Education on everything, because I'm always like, what is ever bad about knowing stuff?
Sure.
Just know it,
Knowledge is power.
And you should. And there's always a stupid shame on things that's unnecessary too. And it's like, okay, it's breast cancer. Who gives a crap?
Right.
It's real. And
It's
it's
here.
it's a huge dang thing. Let's not act like it in like you said, a school of 600 young ladies, like it's not a thing that could happen to them. And it
Right. Or
really
could happen to their mothers, their
all
aunts,
of
their
them.
fathers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, more rare with men, but it happens.
But you
Yeah,
had
that's
you
true.
had students go in.
2 students actually sat in on my surgery, like not from a gallery, like next to me. And the only thing I kept saying is like, please, they're not allowed to have their cell phones, right? Like I didn't want my boob on Snapchat.
I don't want my boob on Snapchat.
Right? But it was,
Thank you.
it was, and Dr. Burns, my surgeon, she was very open to the idea.
Yeah, again, this is a hero surgeon
Yeah.
who said let these high school.
High schoolers.
Any chance they were like medical bound?
They are.
Okay,
and so
yeah.
actually there,
Any chance?
Well, I wanted to make sure they weren't just
they're
some
musical
random,
theater
yeah,
students.
musical theater. It would be like
American history
I'm
majors.
gonna pass out. I'm gonna pass out. I like
right.
it. I
No,
thought-
so they were 2 students who have not only expressed a deep interest in going into pre-med in college, but also have taken advantage of every opportunity that St. Ursula has given them to shadow physicians and things like that. So these were 2 young women.
Very
who were
focused young
Very
women.
focused young women. And so, yeah, they were right next to me. They put on their scrubs, and I did not want to see them before the surgery because I thought that was just a little, I was very nervous. And then my sister took pictures of them, at the hospital with me, and then
Were you out for the surgery?
oh yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if they did
Yeah.
one of those things on your neck and you don't feel anything from.
no.
So
No.
you were gone. So you didn't even see these girls
Not before.
or obviously during now. And so you just you knew they were going to be there.
I knew I was going to be there, and there was something as a teacher. There was something that was very calming about the fact that I had 2 of my Arrow girls there.
Why? Why was that calming?
I don't know. I just feel better when there are arrows
Oh,
around.
that's nice. Again, this is my stupid opinion, but maybe you were possibly focused on the fact that once again you're putting somebody else before yourself by putting these young ladies in there. Typical mom move.
Well, that's why Over the Edge. Like I have zero desire to do this. But when I walked into Victory
I have a
Center,
ton of desire.
I
to do it.
love
would
it when
love to do
people
it.
admit that.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
zero.
I don't want to do this
I
I
don't
would
wanna do
fall
this.
so fast.
I don't want to do it at all.
Yeah.
But
I want to jump out of a plane. I want to climb those big phone towers. I have like no fear of heights.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
But when I walked into Victory Center and like I had signed up for a massage and my daughter signed up for art therapy and I had signed up to go to a young cancer survivors support group, I was like, well, I suppose I could fundraise. And I was like, well, I guess I should do something. And then I saw, I guess I can go over a building. I don't want to do this at all.
That's the first thing you saw. Well, that could
It would have been
almost
just as easy to do a walk.
It's unfortunate the timing of when she arrived at the Victory Center because 3 months later we'd be putting you in a fashion show.
Can I switch?
That's a little easier.
Can I switch?
No,
When is the over the edgy?
no,
event?
but you can do both.
September 6th.
You can wear a fashion outfit while going over the edge.
Yes.
Oh,
That's-
we've had
That would be great.
It'd be
We've had a
promoting the next
bride.
events.
Yeah, we've had a bride go over the edge in a wedding dress
There
and
you
get
go.
married at the ground. And we actually, 2 years ago, had a young woman go over the edge and she got proposed to at the ground. It was so
Aw.
sweet.
You should announce
Yeah.
your show.
We've already announced.
No, do it again.
Do it again.
What is
How
it?
you
I don't know
gonna-
what it
how you
is.
gonna
What's the
top
show?
this?
What?
You have to go over and top this, though.
Oh, I thought you said
Oh my
you
God,
had
I
to go
thought you
over
said
topless.
topless. I was like, wow, that got real dark, real
Jeez,
fast.
Tom, what's this?
no, it's your guys' minds that went the wrong way.
We both heard topless.
Yeah. You definitely
Oh
said
my
topless.
gosh.
Quit talking about boobs then.
Yeah, good luck on this podcast.
Like there has to be an OnlyFans for like mutilated breast, like,
Oh,
Gosh,
what's
I
the
have
show
to-
real fast?
Legally Blonde.
Oh, you're doing Legally Blonde. Okay,
Yes.
this is very pink. Okay,
All pink.
All
Pink is-
pink.
pink
And you
is the
brought
theme.
me, and even you brought me over a little booby. What
I
is
brought
this?
you a foam.
a
boob.
foam booby.
Yeah.
I was hopeful it was like a cupcake.
No,
I
it's
was
not a
gonna. I was
cupcake.
like, yeah, no.
No.
okay.
Cupcake
All right.
shaped.
And then Kimberly brought all the goodies. You brought like everything for
T-shirts,
us.
magnets.
Yeah, man,
Wine?
we really go hard with the swag. So
I guess so.
Everyone's got their over the edge T-shirts. You can represent both in the community because the word of mouth is really.
Right.
I mean, you talked about it in the beginning. Like, if you don't know that the Victory Center exists, certainly when you're diagnosed with cancer, Kirsten said sometimes the doctors will hit you over the head with it, but we don't want anyone to come in unless they're ready, unless that's on their heart to do so. And more importantly, when they get a chance to come and see us and figure out what we're all about, we want them to feel ready to accept the help that we're willing to give. And those services, so many people say, it's give it to someone who really needs it. That's okay. I don't
Well,
need it
obviously
right
that's
now.
what Kirsten needed. She was all apprehensive at first for some reason.
So apprehensive. And then last
Yeah.
week I got reflexology. I didn't even know what that was.
I don't know what that is.
But
What's that?
This nice man touched my feet.
Oh my
for
God, did you see Mylan?
Yes. He touched my feet for an hour and told me stories, and I was just like, "This is the best day of my life."
It's just like a massage type thing. Is that what
It
it is?
is, but there are connections in your feet to the rest of your body, and so there's healing that can happen, and he can tell where you're holding
Did not
stress.
even know that. So
Yeah.
it's like these stress points and stuff. He
Yes.
hits them and it goes all the way through your whole body.
Yes, and I
you're
was
just-
laying down, and he was at the end. He was telling me great stories. He had some great stories about some of the Ursuline sisters who lived at the convent next to St. Ursula, and he was absolutely fascinating. And yeah.
So Mylan is a treasure. Mylan has been with the Victory Center for almost 20 years. He says wild horses will have to drag him out, which we're incredibly grateful for because he's a fan favorite. Reflexology is going to find those pressure points within your feet. Mylan will call them crunchies. He's looking for your crunchies.
looking for your crunchies.
Yes. You're kicked back, almost as if you're at the dentist office in one of those lounge chairs that you would maybe find on a patio, right? Sit way back. And Mylan's room is never silent until the very last 5 minutes where he tells you, now we'd stop talking.
yes, he definitely was like, "It's time to stop talking." I was like,
Now, then
He's
what
very
did you do
serious
then?
about
Just like,
that.
okay, stop talking. We're going to focus on relaxation. Type thing?
Instead of then the pressure that he's putting on different parts of your feet, mapping out your body. I carry a lot of my tension, my traps in my shoulders. Mylan will cause me to not only like release the clench in my jaw, but then drop my shoulders, release the tension. And that's all happening from a massage on my feet because he's mapping out your body. He can find
Is it just the feet?
it is
just
just
the
your
feet.
feet. He's
Wow.
gonna find
trippy.
your spleen.
It's trippy,
He's gonna find your kidneys. He's gonna find your reproductive system.
What?
And
through my feet? He's going to find my reproductive system through my
absolutely,
feet?
he is. The
Wow.
spine of your foot.
he's not a young man.
No. Mylan's got to be in his 80s.
Yes.
And
Nice.
he's remarkable. He's talented. He's kind. Hands are softer than anyone you've ever felt in your life.
Really?
Because Mylan sits at his chair
He's
watching
like from
TV at the end of
Nepal
the
or
day,
something up there, is he?
massaging his own hands because he's doing reflexology on himself at the end of the day. And he's just a remarkable human being. Him and his wife Helga came into town. Helga from Poland, and they just have this background that is filled with love and just remarkable stories. And if you ask Mylan about it, he'll gladly tell you.
Nice. So is this whole experience when you go in there just to help relax you, and a lot of times when you go in,
I
Kirsten?
just think to find your people and find people to connect with and find ways to relax if you will accept the help. So, there's massage services, there are facial services, there's reflexology, there's support groups. There are a variety of support groups. So I can go to the breast cancer support group. I chose to go to the young cancer because, we also get sick of hearing, oh my gosh, you're so young or you're so healthy or whatever, but it's happening more and more. And so again, we have to talk about it. And again, if you're lucky enough to not have had anyone in your family with cancer, there's so much information that is immediately thrown at you that is so overwhelming. And even to have people to kind of bounce this off of and things like that, like you have surgery, you have radiation.
Especially for you, since you said you had no history, you didn't have anybody to bounce it off.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
in
I
your
didn't even
family.
really think I knew what radiation was. I knew that I kind of knew what chemo was. And then there are so many times that you think you have an answer.
So what is it? What is radiation and chemo? So for people to know, you're not going behind an X-ray wall and somebody blasting you?
So radiation is, yes, they
Okay.
are blasting you. But even like radiation, I didn't realize was daily. So I had 24 treatments and it was every day. And they map your body in a certain way. My body is tattooed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they tattoo your body to connect the radiation machine and make sure that they're hitting only the tumor or where the tumor was. And then making sure that they're killing any cells that may be left over.
So is
in
it
your body.
directed like they do at the dentist office where they have like this little gun thing that points and hits that area?
Yeah, but you are under a massive machine that moves around you.
Oh,
And
okay.
then you have to...
So like an MRI machine that kind of goes around.
Yeah, with many more arms.
Okay.
And then they have a large pillow that's custom made to your back so that they're actually... You are sitting in the exact same position every single
You
time
have your
go.
own pillow?
Yes.
Oh.
Right.
And so you go in and it's got your name on it, it's
like on a hanger,
little
yeah, and then
KH, and
yeah, and then
they
you're...
spray it down with Febreze after everyone.
Well, then
Oh my
typically you're with the same people every day because you have radiation at the same
How
time
long
every
does it
day.
take? Do you fall asleep? Do you take a nap?
No, you're actually under the machine for maybe like 7 minutes.
Oh, I'd probably still fall asleep.
Yeah. But then you get to meet the people around you. And then when you ring the bell, which is when your cancer treatment is over, it's like a celebration. And so you get to celebrate others as their cancer treatment is finished. And some people, of course, have a more challenging treatment
Right.
plan. Some people have surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. I was lucky that I didn't need chemotherapy. But again, we didn't know that until, 5 weeks after surgery. They don't know that because...
Let's talk about the surgery then. So when you said you needed to go in and have the surgery, was it just a little tiny thing?
So I had the option to do a mastectomy of my left breast or the option to do a lumpectomy, which is where they just remove the tumor. And there are no better outcomes either way. Mastectomy has some more significant potential side effects, right?
So-
So the good news is you get rid of all the breast tissue with a mastectomy.
Yeah.
So your recurrence rate can be a little lower, but it's not statistically significant.
Gotcha. Not
And
enough to
Sure.
really. So I guess stupid me. I think, oh, you just went in and you had the exam. Must be small. Must be a little tiny lump in there. Was it not tiny?
It was, so the first thing they saw was just calcifications, and calcifications can mean the forming of a cyst. It can mean the forming of a tumor. So I had 3 appointments where
My
I kept
gosh.
hearing it's probably nothing. And then when they biopsied it, I wasn't hearing anything, nothing was coming into my chart. And then I got the call actually when I was having lunch with my colleagues at St. Ursula, and my doctor said, "Do you have a private place to talk?"
Oh gosh.
So they had located the calcifications were actually a tumor forming. And so I opted for a lumpectomy, which is where they remove the tumor and they hope to get all of it, right?
Right.
But they don't know because it's kind of hard to, scan the tumor. But the really cool thing, I mean, I learned so much about just the medical field. They also have to do this thing called a sentinel lymph node. They have to map where your breast is where your milk ducts, because my cancer was in my milk duct, where it travels. So they have to locate what lymph nodes it could have spread to. And so that was really interesting. So they put this like nuclear medicine in
science is crazy.
It's insane. They put this nuclear medicine in you, map which lymph nodes it goes to, and then they biopsy all of
those to see if they're in there?
To see if it's in there. And then it's like, if I would have had 4 lymph nodes, chemotherapy would have been completely off the table. But because I had 6, I was draining into 6 lymph nodes. Then they had to do this additional testing to see if chemo would have been, again, you're always looking for like trying to eliminate your chances of recurrence because I am 41 and I could potentially live for another 60 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So
at least 40.
At least 40.
And we do hope
You're only halfway through your life. You're good to go.
And so they're really trying to make as low as possible that recurrence score. And so that's
Man, see, this is what I want to hear. I'm very fascinated by scientific stuff and what they can do. I am so impressed with doctors and medicine and what they're able to do. Like that kind of thing where you said you could, we're not just going to take this part out and then hope it all goes well. No. We're going to go in and we're going to inject this magical nuclear stuff and it's going to find other crap in you that it needs to go. That's insane.
Maybe people will find this interesting.
I will, I'm sure.
I'm a sunscreen user, right? But it's hard for me to remember because I have really olive skin and I don't burn. They were saying that when you have breast cancer, finding the lymph nodes is fairly easy because they inject this thing into your breast and then it travels exactly where they expect it to travel. But they're saying with skin cancer, they can't even find those lymph nodes because of it could be anywhere on your body.
Just the way the skin is compared to the breast.
So it's an organ that takes up your whole body.
Yeah.
And so I've now been much more careful about sunscreen.
You've been slathering it on?
Yes, because I was like, wow, I knew how painful that procedure was to get to find the sentinel lymph node. And I was like, well, I don't want to ever do that.
Was it? It was painful? What did they do? So, I mean, like it was like a needle or something?
Yeah, it's 4 injections right around your areola and to see where it travels, and then they map it as it travels.
That's where they go in at, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yikes, gosh.
They go in, yeah.
I'd rather they went through my back.
Yeah, the surgery.
You go in the other way. Go through my lung, please. And,
and then the surgery, I had 2 incisions, one on my areola and then one under my arm. And the one under my arm is long. It's about 4 inches, and that's where they biopsied all the lymph nodes.
That's not long. 4 inches is nothing.
The under the arm was way more painful than
Oh, really? That's where my wife pinches me. It hurts.
The mastectomy is a little more, I don't want to call it drastic. My mother had 2.
Yeah, you're removing all of the breast tissue at that point.
And she had the chemo, which was not fun for her.
Right.
Now, I don't know if it affects everybody the same way. I remember her sitting there one time, all depressed and bummed out, and I said, all right, what's the problem? And her response was, I've had all this chemo, I've spent a lot of money on 2 wigs, and I haven't lost a single damn hair off my head. And that's what I did. All I could do was stop laughing. And then we just sat there and laughed.
Yeah.
That was her way.
Honestly, Kirsten's comment about her boobs on Snapchat, right? The girls in the operation room with you. Cancer patients are funny. You guys have got
she's already funny to begin with. That's why you can watch her whole journey. And when Ron reached out to her and she was willing to come on, I was like, awesome. I want to talk about all this stuff.
Well, there's some dark humor involved, right? Like if you don't laugh at least some of the time.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The madness is going to creep through. And I just, people who have the outlook that Kirsten has, it's so beautiful to see because there are incredibly dark moments. There are things that people go through, especially when they are protecting the people around them, their families, their students, from seeing what they're going through. And humor is a wonderful tool, and I'm glad to see that your humor is still intact and well.
Oh my gosh, I posted yesterday. Yeah, it's my armpit and my whole breast is just it's so gnarly looking. I mean, I only showed half. It looks like I know this is a podcast, right? It looks like a port wine, what is it called? A port wine birthmark. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, it looks on my armpit and my breast.
And this is also the site of your incision?
Yes, both my incisions. I mean, it's very, very dark. It's like a It's very dark.
Oh, well, yeah.
But it's healing. I mean, I'm done with radiation.
Are you done? Nice.
Yeah, I was done last Friday, and now I'm on 10 years of medication, and I'm being
10 years of medication?
Yeah, because they have to put me in menopause. That's the other thing. So breast cancer has about a bazillion types. I was lucky to get the boring one. Again, there's a lot of...
I think you're lucky to get the menopause stopping, too. Personally, I mean, you don't need that anymore, do you?
Well, I don't... Not that I...
That'd be my wife would pay for that.
Yeah. So I'm on medication for the next 10 years because I have what's called hormone-positive breast cancer. And so estrogen and progesterone actually feed the cancer. And so it could have a higher recurrence score if I didn't shut down that adrenal gland.
Gotcha. So they put you on medicine to stop those hormones from coming through your body to, again, stop the crap from happening.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's what we
Again, these are things I don't even know existed.
I did not know them.
No.
Yeah.
None of these things were things I had
and you
ever
get
heard
like
of
the
before.
cancer welcome packet from like ProMedica, and then your surgeon, and then the Victory Center, and then Susan G.
Cancer welcome packet.
Yeah, and everyone has
Baskets of care.
Yes, everyone has a different cancer welcome packet. And so I've really asked my 11-year-old daughter, because I don't want her to be afraid, and she will have to start testing 10 years before I was diagnosed. So she'll have to start this at 30. Because that's just the medical protocol.
That's
now.
the rule. The rule is do it now if somebody who is your mother
Right.
or siblings probably too get it.
So I've invited
you are become
her,
a higher risk then, right?
Right. I've invited her to be a part of all of this. We made a silly video about what it's like to get a mammogram where we use 2 frying pans.
Did you post that?
I did post it. It's
I didn't
hysterical.
see that one. I want to see it. Okay.
It's hysterical. And we're not like a naked family. You know how like some families are like naked families?
Yes.
We're not. Like we are like a private family. And like every day I'm like, all right, Bug, here's what it looks like today.
We're a naked family, Holly and I. So just so the family knows.
We are
She gets hot when she works. She gets hot when she works out, and I come downstairs and I'm like, whoa, okay.
No, we are the exact opposite of a naked family. But I just don't want her to be afraid. You know, I want her to be aware of what's happening. So we've like become at least the half naked family.
Yeah.
just the left side of my body.
We're like total
Like,
wild
like
hippies.
the top half.
No, I like still won't even show her my right.
You're like the 1/4.
Yeah.
You get the one.
You get a quick look. Yeah.
That is funny. What is the event, though? What is the
when,
exact
when are you
event?
going over the edge?
Let's
gonna
talk
drink.
about what over the edge is exactly.
I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, we'll give Kirsten a break.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
You know, there are so many people out there who want to find the way to share, and this is an open door for them to do that. So I appreciate Kirsten sharing with us. The Over the Edge is going into the 8th year.
We appreciate it too, because the fact that we just these old guys reached out to her and said, "Hey, you want to share your story about all this?" And she was like, "Really?
Man.
Do you really want me on?" I'm like, "Yeah, we really want
She's
you."
a
on."
rock star. I love it. And I'm going to have to follow you on social media now.
Yeah, you can
I'm
see all the
missing
frying pans.
out. Yeah, frying pans. Over the Edge, we're going into our 8th year, which is actually hard to believe, but we've really seen this event grow exponentially, and the Victory Center has exclusive rights to hold this event in a Toledo area and 4-county radius. So that's kind of exciting for us, because when you see it happen, you know it's the Victory Center. We send people 16 stories over the edge of a building, a high-rise in downtown Toledo.
I don't think people understand how high 16
You might
can you give me,
want
like-
to listen to this.
Yeah, can you
part,
put it in
Kristen.
like a Cedar Point ride perspective?
Oh, that's a great question. Here, I'm going to Google.
Wait, the Magnum 200. Wait, the Magnum 200 is
it?
200 feet in the air, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so our building is 280 feet.
You won't be going as fast now.
So it's not even the Magnum. It's more like the
Sorry.
Millennium Force that goes 300 feet. Yeah, it's really high. I know exactly where it is. It's the Edison
I
building
don't.
downtown, right?
Formerly the Edison building. Yeah, it's owned by ProMedica now.
ProMedica owns that too?
You know what? They're
Cool.
awesome. They let us use the building. We've got a
ProMedica
couple
is
of
awesome.
people.
They've done a lot of good stuff for the city.
Maybe it's not a good idea to compare it to a roller coaster. I just saw Ride the Cyclone.
A Cedar Point ride. You know what? And
Sorry.
some people are climbing the building, which we're only doing for the second time this year, but it's really exciting. We say it's like the equivalent of running a 5K. So if you've got that endurance level, if you've got that kind of adventurous spirit,
To
you
go
can
down is the
No,
5K?
go up.
Go
Oh, no,
up.
climb.
Oh, I was going to say, I could fall a lot faster than...
You sure can.
They said
Take me
something
no
about going
energy.
up because I felt like I could aerobically do that, but then they said I had to wear boots, and I just don't look cute in boots. Not in September, so I
Wait,
said no.
no, I'm
Yeah,
glad
good
you got the
point,
memo
Amber.
though, because last year it broke my heart that a couple of people tried to climb the building. It was our inaugural year of launching the climb, and really their ankles got tore up because the equipment they had on running shoes, like sneakers and socks, and just the equipment. The way they're like stirrups around your feet, and you pedal your way up, or kind of like stepping up a ladder.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's
Let's
how
talk
you
about
get up
the
the
down
building.
first, then
Yeah,
we'll
no.
talk about the up. We're going to talk about what Kirsten's going to do first. So she's going to do what? She's going to climb up the building
No, she's
in,
not gonna
in the
climb.
elevator,
In
right?
the
She's gonna use the
elevator.
elevator, right?
She's gonna climb up
By
and then
pushing those buttons on the
switch
door.
the carabiner and rappel down.
That's fine.
No, she. What's really fun is that her entire group of supporters, they're gonna come out, they're gonna cheer her on, they're gonna send her into the building. So Kirsten's gonna go into the lobby of the building. She's gonna check in. We're gonna give her a luggage tag that has her registration time, her name, and everything
Yeah,
on
in case
it.
she falls, we can, you can be able to
Identify
identify
the
the body.
Corner on standby. No, the company that runs this, you'll be happy to know, I have nothing to do with safety and ropes. These people come in from Nova Scotia, Canada, over the edge global.
yes, and Canadians would never let anything bad happen.
Eh?
No, they're the nicest people ever. Exactly.
They are incredible. They've not only got a 100% success rate.
You like that number,
there
don't
is-
you, Kirsten?
Yeah.
There is nothing in their history that says that this is an unsafe event, but they're also lovely people. They come in, they're so kind. They love to spend the day with us, and they'll rig the building throughout the day on Thursday. We do some VIP repels Thursday night where Kirsten and friends will be invited out for our VIP launch party and
What the
some
heck's a
grazing
VIP repel?
stations.
What are those?
Sounds awesome.
Those are going to be our members of the media, our top
Oh,
sponsors, like
gotcha.
Thermatru is our presenting sponsor this year. And those are the people who want to go over the edge in the dark.
Even better, you don't see where
Yeah,
you're
no,
going.
see.
Yeah, I was like, actually,
Yeah,
I
right?
feel like that would be
It's
better.
not. It's less scary when you can't see the bottom.
It's not total darkness.
Can you explain, like, my biggest fear? Can you explain how do I get over the building? I feel like nothing will scare me except making that
That
decision
first push, yeah.
to get over the edge.
It's going to be rough. I can.
not a
That's
push.
all me, right?
Step ladder.
Oh, hell no.
I'm so sorry.
It's not going to be fun. I'm telling you right now.
I
Sure
mean,
it is. It'll be a blast.
long story short, like the hardest part of over the edge is going over
Yes.
the edge.
Yes.
And then the hardest part is that when you're standing there, so your feet are on the precipice, you are hovering over this audience of people cheering you on from below, you're 16 stories off the ground. The over the edge tech is going to tell you to sit down.
Don't say 16 stories. Say 300 feet. That's how high
No.
she's going to be.
They're going to tell me to sit down
16
where?
sounds
Where am I
small.
sitting down?
They're going to tell you to sit down.
In the air.
They're going to
Oh,
tell
in the
you to-
air, because I have to put my feet on.
So your feet are braced against the building, and they're going to tell you, trust your harness. And you have to sit down.
Cool.
Trust
And
that harness.
That is the
Trust
hardest
the
part
Canadians.
of
Don't
going
tell
over
them
the
to
edge.
trust my.
Trust
Just
the
tell them to
Canadians?
tell me
Yes.
trust the Canadians.
Trust their 100%
Trust the Canadians.
safety record.
Yes.
Remember
Yes,
that.
yes,
100%.
Has
that
anyone-
means 0 people have fallen to their death. Just
People-
remember that.
These people are remarkable. Yeah.
Is it the same people that have people hang over the CN Tower? They actually do that. You can go to the CN Tower just there this past
They
week.
sound like it. Yeah,
and
they,
you
they'd be the
literally
same kind of
you
people.
can walk along the edge of the thing, and then you hang over the edge.
Oh, I'd be shocked if this wasn't them. Every
Yeah.
time they.
It's-
So Thursday, before we go over the edge, they have a 3-hour training with anyone in the community who wants to be a ropes volunteer. So you never have to even go to the roof. You can belay from the ground. You can put someone into
Belay.
their harness on the 8th floor. You're just part of that crew because
Belay's the guy on the bottom who has the end of the rope, and
Belay's
if you
the
were
guy
to
on the
fall,
bottom.
they pull it so that you are not going to hit the bottom.
no one falls.
Exactly. But if you did,
100% of participants have not fallen.
No one falls.
100% have not fallen.
fallen.
Exactly.
Canadians.
Our
Yeah,
ropes.
yay, Canadians.
Our ropes volunteers are all local people. We've got 20 folks. They're signing up from local fire stations,
Oh,
the SWAT team.
Good.
We've got people
local
involved.
trained people, not local.
Yeah, do you like
Local-
breathalyze
I'm not
them?
at the
Don't want
bottom.
Kyle.
Kyle, you're
No,
not
no.
doing my
I'm
ropes,
not
are you?
there. Don't
Okay.
worry. I'm
Do you
not there.
breathalyze?
Do you breathalyze them?
You should.
Because my boss said that she wants to come, and there are days where I feel like she might want to drop me.
Don Juan's is next door, so
Kyle will be at the bottom
not
with
a
his
bad
pink
idea.
gin
Yeah,
waiting
my
for you.
pink gin.
Does anyone choose to not go over?
Yeah, we're all drinking
what's
little
your
pinky
chicken
gin.
out rate?
Oh, Good question.
We got one, and I won't tell their name, but we have one. They got to the top. They said, you know what? I think I'm not going to do this. And that person did not fundraise for the opportunity. So with every dollar behind you and the support of the community, I have no doubt that you are going to say yes to going over the edge.
Oh, I'll for sure do it.
When the moment comes.
Oh, for sure. I'll do it. I'm just,
Yeah.
When are we doing this?
September 6th.
September 6th.
So how are we gonna get everybody who's listened to this podcast now to go and give you money, Kirsten? How are we gonna do that? How do we fundraise directly to Kirsten's account? How do we get people to send her money? How do we get more people to sign up for this program? How do we do all this stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can let you answer. I have my own page where I talk a little bit about my story, and you have goals that you want to hit, and so I do want to be honest. I have hit both of my goals. I hit
Really?
I hit the goal to have a
Stop using the
GoPro.
word hit.
Why?
But it sounds like a falling thing.
No, that was splat.
Yeah, she has splat goals.
Reach your
Splat.
goals.
She smashed
She has
them.
achieved her goals.
I've achieved my goal. I have a GoPro on my head, and then I have an escort that can come to the top with me. I do know one of my former students, a great performer. She is also going over the edge, Abby Kohler.
Okay.
And so I just suggest that you find someone who's going over the edge, because the money all goes to Victory Center and the amazing programming they offer. I've been really lucky to be supported so far by the community and by my family and friends. And
But you can collect over your goal.
oh,
Right.
sure, and that would be great. But I also know, like, everyone has there are many people who
Quit
have.
being unselfish as usual.
Ew.
I want you to get 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as many that you thought you were going to get.
She said, ew.
I know. She's like, don't give it to me. I only have a little boring cancer. That's what you're doing again.
Well,
you know?
no, it all goes to the Victory Center.
Yeah.
So call the Victory Center and say, is there anyone who's really close? And I would like to donate to their campaign, because if someone is willing to go over the edge to support the Victory Center,
what she's doing?
because you have to reach a certain amount to be able to get the privilege to go over.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so you
really?
can't.
There we go.
You,
See, I didn't
yeah,
know
so you
that.
can't
Nice,
just
nice.
go over.
So because you've
have to raise
already
1,000 or
achieved
1,500.
your goal, you get to go over.
Correct.
And you're saying do that for somebody else who hasn't. You got a list of these people?
So,
Kimberly, you got a
Oh
list
my
of these
God. OTE, the number 4, victory.org. Everyone who's on the donate to Repeller list has not yet made it over to the confirmed Repeller list, of which Kirsten
Can you
is at
send
the
us
top.
all this stuff? Can you send us this so I can share it on our podcast so we can put it out there? Of
course I will.
So that we can put it on our Instagram, our Facebook, on everything, so that anybody who's near the edge of going over the edge, then we can make sure
Nice.
those people. Yeah.
so personally, you can spend money to push someone over the edge.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
There
Yeah.
you go.
And if anyone
Yeah.
does want to donate to my campaign and they have a special reason for it, or they are, the caretaker for someone with cancer, or they themselves have cancer, or they have recently lost someone for cancer, that will help me too as I face this fear. I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time thinking about our principal that we lost last year as I go down. And, I've always kind of used other people's struggles as my inspiration for when I'm running. So I've spent a lot of time in the last year thinking about our principal who we lost, and so I know that she'll be my motivation to get over.
Nice.
So
And I just want to make it as easy as possible by posting direct links and direct everything. So
you can
that
post
people-
my direct link.
Yes.
then.
And anything. I want the people who are close to getting, their goals accomplished as well. I want those links so that anybody who's listening can be like, click. And,
What is the number of people who
$2,
have gone over?
$3, $5, doesn't matter.
How many
Right.
people went over last year?
So it costs $1,000 minimum. You're absolutely right. You have to raise $1,000. These pros from Canada, they're very talented, but it's also
got it.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive, right?
They're traveling down. They got to have a place to stay.
Oh gosh, absolutely. They've got to have the equipment and the time, and they're very much like pilots in the sense that if a pilot times out, they cannot fly anymore.
Oh.
These people are utilized in a sense that their time is safety, and so we are paying for their safety and for their time. And so the funds raised are not only going to allow us to hold an event like this for 8, 9, 10 years in a row, right? But it also allows us to go back to the Victory Center and pay the therapists who are providing the services. And one of the therapists, Kate, who is our art therapist, is repelling this year.
Nice.
She would be someone I would totally say, go ahead and support her page. She's close, but not quite at $1,000. Among other people who are doing this, Abby Kohler is I want to be like her when I grow up, right? She's just a wonderful student and recent graduate of
I was gonna say,
University of Toledo.
I was going to say, not a current student. Okay.
Not a current
Remarkable.
student. Yeah. She was a
Remarkable
class of
young
2020 at St. Ursula.
Okay.
But it's really cool to see people's stories as they get shared. So if it's on your heart to donate, you can actually click through different people's profiles and read their bios, which I encourage you to do.
I can't do that. I'm already going to be crushed reading
Your
that.
heart.
I am such a wuss.
Oh my
we
gosh.
do St. Jude's at the station every year, and they had this meeting. I went to one meeting one time, and I said that I cannot.
Yeah.
You don't need to convince me anymore. Okay, I'm already convinced. I don't need more convincing.
Do you have a big Victory Center goal for this? Are you able to share it?
Absolutely. So 2 years ago, we raised $250,000.
Nice.
That is a personal best. That is something the Victory Center wants to see happen again. We would love to do that this year.
So 250 is the goal.
250 would be the bottom line goal, and that's a gross amount. So obviously, our expenses taken out after the fact. We would net less than that, let's say.
Yeah.
But after expenses and such.
Right.
But it's really incredible because you see the community come together. I've reached out to people like our scaffolding guy and the drones and the people who are lighting up the building Thursday night when we're rappelling in the dark. And they come back to me and say, how much more can I do? And these are independent companies. These are mom and pop places. These are
Well, it's real. It's
oh
real
my
life.
God, it's
not that hard
so
to connect with stuff like
close
this.
to
At least
so
it
many
should be.
people.
If you have
And I
any kind of
haven't
heart
paid
at
a
all,
dollar.
It should not be
I mean,
that big of a connection.
Everything that I've done at the Victory Center, I have not paid a dollar for any services that I've received, that my family has received. Money is not exchanged, at least from the patient. I don't want to speak on all of the programming, but
You're 100% correct.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I've not paid for a thing, and so it's
This is your way of paying.
yes, and I think 250 is awesome, but my gosh, your podcast is amazing, and there's a huge supportive community. Like let's rock out 275. Come on, I mean,
I agree.
let's do it. I don't want to pull the cancer card, but I will.
That's kind of what we're doing here, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
shamelessly right in the beginning, the whole point of this is we're going to shamelessly plug,
pull out your pocket.
$1.67 today.
Right, pull out your pocketbooks. Right, let's do this.
And people can make change. What's most important to us at the Victory Center is not that we're another appointment in your schedule, because we know, I've seen the schedules of people going through treatment and it boggles my mind. I can barely get my dog to the vet or get myself to the dentist. Right?
It's crazy.
The schedules that people are balancing because of the doctor's appointments and the visits and the checkups and the meetings and all of these things. And the Victory Center can be that little beacon of hope on the calendar, because that's the appointment you're looking forward to.
Oh, that's nice.
That's the appointment you're going to walk away from, hopefully feeling better instead of potentially worse.
Yeah.
And we can give that to
there.
people for free.
Nice.
Yeah.
W2O is going to be covering the whole event over the edge all day long.
need a costume
They'll
or
be there from the
something.
beginning. We're going to have
A tutu.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. But they're going to be there from the morning, and
Yes.
we're going to have everybody there. Morning anchors, afternoon anchors,
Gosh,
evening anchors. They're all
Can I
gonna
give
be
them
there.
just such a shout out? WTOL has welcomed me into the studio to do segments. Kirsten doesn't know this, but surprise, I gave them your information because I really want them to be able to do one of their 11 Together stories on your story. And
And I know the young lady who's building the 11 Together stories on some of these things. So
we're talking about breast cancer now more often, but it's really difficult, I think, and it's squirmy and cringy and maybe as taboo
why
today
shouldn't we?
to talk about colon cancer
Mm-hmm.
or colorectal cancer or anal cancer as it was for breast cancer 10, 20 years ago.
Gotcha.
And every single diagnosis deserves its time in the sun, and the recognition that someone going through something is not just going through that because they're a brave individual, but because they were thrust into a situation that they didn't choose.
right.
And every single one who's going through this cancer diagnosis deserves to feel supported.
Yeah.
And that's what the Victory Center does. And Over the Edge is so celebrational. It is inspirational. And if anything, we have this just remarkable story from last year where this lovely woman, she touches down after rappelling, and you're going to feel fatigued. You're going to be sweating. Your body's instinct is to catch itself, right? That's one of the earliest instincts of any human is if you're falling, you catch yourself. So you're going to clench your muscles. And you're going to hold on tight. So you're going to
I'll be
down.
clenching. I'll be
Yeah,
clenching.
You'll be clenching.
That's why babies always flinch the way they do. They think you're going to drop them.
That's absolutely right. So you're going to feel when you get down this sense of fatigue. And last year, this woman comes down. She's breathing heavily and she's sighing and she's sweaty. And she reaches into her shirt and she pulls out this beautiful photo of her mother. And her mom had just recently passed away. And she said, I brought her down with me. I carried her with me. And you can do that for the former president of St. Ursula. You can do that for all the people who are diagnosed with cancer today and feel like that is a very isolating place to be.
For a moment there, I thought we were going to get through this without crying.
I
I'm not
know.
sure.
It is. It is.
Sorry, guys.
It's emotional.
No,
you're
it's all
fine.
good.
It's all
It's
good.
all great, and I'm just happy that both you two agreed to come on to the podcast, talk about this. Kimberly, you're going to send me all the information that I can post directly, so it's going to be easy for people
I
to
will.
donate and to connect and do stuff.
And everyone listening is going to get their mammograms and they're going to get their colonoscopies. And
Say it for the people in the back.
yes, you are going
I
to
need
get.
to go get my
And it doesn't
colonoscopy now
matter.
she said that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you are busy. You have to take care of yourself. Yeah,
I've been to already.
yeah.
So.
It's icky to think about,
It's
but
the best sleep I've ever had. I'm ready for my third.
right? Just do it.
colonoscopy? Oh, yeah. All right,
you
you
on
sold
your
me, Tom. You sold me.
Absolutely.
You sold me. I'm going to do that.
Get
I'll
it
tell you
and
the
talk
same thing.
about
You
it.
guys can prep together.
Oh, no, I want my own room
You
for
got
that.
two bathrooms, right?
Thanks for coming on, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
thank
Bye.
you.